Well, welcome everybody to Leadership Lab. It's Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern here. Just want to thank you for being here. My name is Aaron Cadillo, and I'll be your host tonight, along with Alex Salatili-Reger. And if you haven't been on this call before, just so you guys have a understanding, this is really to help you guys that are at the manager level, or if you're not there yet, to take your business to, director and beyond. And the idea of this call is really to help garner leadership, really understand how to help your team get to the next level and even yourself. And Alex has been with this company now close to 3 years now, or a little bit more. And, she has a lot of knowledge and understanding of how to get there. So the idea is that we tap into her knowledge, and I come up with some questions, you come up with some questions, and we have some fun with it. So the idea for the call is the first 15, 20 minutes, we have a topic that we want to cover. Usually on this call, we really dive into just the idea of leadership. And then after that, we get into your questions more specifically. But like I said, if you're on this call, please drop a question in the chat so we can help you guys with whatever you need or whatever you're looking for. And we'll go from there. So Alex, any
Yes.
updates, any ideas as far
Oh,
as
yeah. Always, 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 guys.
yeah,
And thanks for being here. Super appreciate it. Hi, Jill, and whoever's on here. Okay, so we have a couple of questions already, and I know that we have a question, and then I want to kind of riff from there, and I have a bit of an announcement to make here tonight. So stick on here or watch the replay if you're on here and you leave, because it's going to be really important. Ooh. Oh, somebody's blowing a horn. Okay.
oh, that's the plane. I apologize.
Didgeridoo. He's,
Yeah.
for those of you that are just tuning in right now, just to make it really clear, we were just chatting before we started, and he's doing like this men's retreat, and we were talking about drumming drums and doing the whole thing. So who knows?
If you're some manly grunts in the
Manly
background, it's
men.
just men just wrestling, doing jujitsu downstairs. So
Perfect.
yeah.
So let's tackle the questions first, Aaron, and then I'm going to make like a bit of a little chitty chat, and I know that I've got some things I want to share to round
Yep.
things out, and then we'll take questions. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So Sylvia, how do you use voice notes? Melissa said something about it in one of her short videos. Does Android have that? I, I can kind of jump in on this one because she obviously taught me a lot about this one. So she mostly uses WhatsApp, and sometimes she'll also just do it through Instagram. So either Instagram or WhatsApp, and even just regular iPhone text. I don't know much about Android, but I know Android has the same capability, and you literally can just do voice notes. And it's actually a really nice thing. Melissa and I do it all the time with each other, just because it's actually a one-way conversation, and someone's not trying to cut you off, and you actually just get to fully express of what's on your mind and how you're feeling and what you want to share. And it's actually a beautiful way to kind of communicate with people. And she does it with obviously a lot of her team members, but even just people that are interested in the patches. Just as an introduction, hey, was just thinking about you. Just thought I'd leave you a voice note. And some people it's super foreign, right? And they're like, oh, I've actually never done this before, but I actually really like it. So sometimes people will text back to her after she's left a voice note, but in general, most people voice text back and they actually really enjoy the process of it. So I know for sure you can do it on WhatsApp, you can do it on your iPhone, and you can do it through Instagram. And I know Android has it. I'm a Mac person, so I think
You can do it on
I'm
Facebook Messenger as well. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, it's a great way to start dialogue, and it's actually a really personable thing just to get the conversation going. Hey, I was just thinking about you. Just thought I'd drop a voice note, and if you are being genuine, people can really actually hear it in your voice. That's the great thing about it. And so yeah, try it, Sylvia. It's I think you'll really enjoy it. I don't know if that answered your question or not. If it did, just let us know in the chat. If it didn't, just ask me a little bit more and we can kind of go in there. Do you have anything on that, Alex? Have you started using it at all?
Oh, I do use it sometimes. What I like about it is that you can't, you could read one like 5-word text and put the inflection on any one of the words and change the entire meaning of the text. But when you have it in a voice, you can you know, it all comes through much more organically and much more true to what you're trying to say. So it's huge for interpretation because text can be so misinterpreted, and with our own overlays of what we believe, or our limiting beliefs get overlaid on what we're reading, and therefore we see it in a different way than it was maybe intended. And it definitely curbs that ability to distort what's being said. And so I love that about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, is like text doesn't really have any emotion, and can be a lot of miscommunication through text, whereas voice notes, I think we just intuitively can sense a person's, their voice. We can hear what they're really trying to communicate to us. So I think it's a powerful tool. And if you feel comfortable with it, Sylvia, definitely try it for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Cindy had a question. My organization is new and everyone is on auto ship. Congratulations, Cindy. That's great. That's awesome. So why does LifeWave business sites say they aren't active next period?
Depends on when you set up their auto ship. So
yeah,
if you set up the auto ship to be, maybe you can clarify, are you setting them up on silver and then setting them on auto ship after 3 months, or how are you setting them up? Because if you're setting them up within a 31-day window, then it should read. If you're not sure about that, you can check their subscription. You can log in as them, and let me just back up for a second. When I set up a new person, I always give them my own, like I create a username and a password for them. I save that for myself, and I tell them straight up, do not change your password until you are really set off and on your own and using it and know how to manage your account. This will allow me to help you. This will allow me to place people under you if you decide to start sharing, or as you start to share. And I'll show you how to do it, but like training wheels, right? I'm not going to take the training wheels off. Do not change the password. So therefore you can go in and check what their auto ship is set at, if it's within 31 days of their last order, and then it should show up next period active. And if not, just make sure you do the math and it should be fine. It just could be the way that it falls in the week. Because if the auto ship's going to hit on a Thursday, but the week starts on Sunday or Monday morning, and there's a little bit of window where there's like a little bit of a gap, but it's still going to hit within the week, it may just not read from the computer. But so long as you know it's every 31 days or within that period, you should be fine. You should be fine. And when in doubt, you can call the office and find out.
Alex, should we just get Cindy to come on? Maybe she can clarify a little bit.
If she needs to clarify, by all means, if that didn't answer, then yes, raise your hand, Cindy, and then
Cindy, if you feel comfortable, just kind of let us know, and maybe we'll get you to come on and you can ask your question. We can kind of get Alex to coach you through it a little bit.
Sure. Is there anything else in text right now? Because we have one more that was sent in that I texted you.
I didn't get that one from you. So
Oops.
Let me see if we just get
I can find it
on here.
I've got it right here. It's fine. It's from Quinn. You didn't get that from me.
Asked to unmute.
Oh, Cindy's on. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, who's doing the quantum team tonight? Oh, okay, perfect. Cindy, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Perfect. Yeah, I thought it might just be easier just to kind of get you, just ask Alex the questions directly, and then we can kind of help you as much as possible.
Very good, thank you.
Yeah.
Did we answer your question, or is there more clarification we need?
Well, on all of my people, I was really unsure about the 31 days, because some months are 28. So I just chose 30 to try to be safe.
Okay.
So it doesn't make sense to me why it wouldn't be showing active on all those, because they're all auto, right?
And you're setting them up for the first 28 or for the first 30 days. Yeah.
Well, auto ship I thought was every week, every month. No?
That's what I mean. So when you you put their order in, or you put them in as a brand partner or wholesale, however you want to put it, and then you're setting up that first auto ship to hit, or that first automatic for 30 days away, right?
Correct.
Okay. So I think what's happening is, because we get paid weekly, I think that the computer is registering every 28 days, because it's 7 days each week. It's going by the week, and there's 52 weeks in the month or in the year. So although it may not show that it's going to hit in the 28 days, it will hit 2 days later. So they'll still be qualified. They'll still be within the window. There's just going to be a 2-day window where on the back office, it looks like they're not active or like they're in jeopardy or something, but they actually are fine. If it's set for 28 days or less, they'll always look like they're active because of the week to week to week. But they still will be active if you set it up within 31 days. But there is that little wonky period where it's like, uh-oh, what happened? And for instance, for yourself, if you're set up on a 30-day repeating or recurring thing, there's going to come a week when it looks like you just dropped down in rank and you dropped all your points, and you might be like, oh, what just happened?
Right, I will.
Right. But all that happened is that before the end of that week, it'll go through and all the numbers come back and everything is revived. Trust me, I've had that happen a couple of times. So I think it's the 28-day work week cycle that is what it's registering on, but they're still safe.
Okay, I'll keep my eye on it. Thank you.
Yeah.
So Cindy, can I ask you just a quick question? Because this is great. You've got all 4 of your people on auto ship. How did you suggest that to them? Like what did you say when you were signing them up?
Well, everybody was different. One gal, she's been suffering long COVID, and she wanted to get better yesterday, right? So it made it fairly easy to put her on a gold and give her everything she would need, even though she might not be starting it all at the same time. She would have it in her toolbox, right?
Mhm.
And then the X39, and I think the Elavita, we put her on auto ship.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Perfect.
she's to the Preferred Plus customer, he's buying it for his mom, so that's just a 6-month window, right? I don't have to change it anymore, do I?
No,
Okay.
no. That's great. You're doing great. Fabulous.
That's awesome, Cindy. That's great.
Yeah. So you hit manager. So you're already
Now,
manager?
I need one more.
One more. Okay. Well, let's everybody say a quick, yeah, she's got this week. All
I'd
right.
love for it to be gold so I can be the golden girl.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy, for your question. I really appreciate it.
Totally. Totally.
Yeah. So Alex, then in your suggestion, then should we be for auto ship? Should we just automatically do people at 28 days then instead versus 30?
Well, we already have a hard enough time for a lot of people feeling comfortable doing 30 days, right? So it's really up to you. 28 days really is ideal because then you get 52 days out of the week. You actually get an extra auto ship out of the year. So it is actually kind of ideal, and everything's by the book and it's green and the check is always there, and that's great. But in reality, we want people to only get the product when they run out, and after 30 days is when their patches run out. So it's really going to be your call on it. And it depends on how proficient you are in setting up auto ship with people. Even if it just means that you set them up as, silver or gold, whatever, and set up their auto ship for when they actually run out. At that point, you could tell them, we're going to be on a 28-day auto ship. And so don't be afraid to give a patch or 2 away each month. No problem. You'll still have a couple extra at the end. That's going to be your personal preference. Yeah. I just posted that question, by the way. That was yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
So this is a question that one of the team members sent to Alex. I listened to a video of Dr. Harmon giving tips on what not to do when approaching a doctor about X39, plus other nuggets. Very informative, good tips. He mentioned that some doctors won't have the time to do the business part, and that I would be following up with the patients, which I would probably agree with that. How would you handle a situation like that? If I'm following up with the patient, I am placing them within my tree. I hope this question makes sense. I listened to most of the recent Launch Lab, and it was awesome. You three make a great team, and I am where I am supposed to be and feel so aligned with you. Wow, that's a very nice compliment. Thank you so much. So let's go back. So she was just asking where. So I guess this is the question. There's 2 ways.
Yeah.
So Is the doctor, are you putting him in the doctor's tree if he's actually going to do the business, or are
Right.
you just taking them for yourself?
Right.
So I guess you can take that from
Yeah.
both angles. Yeah.
Yeah, and this also can be creative, but in general, anything that's under the doctor who's under you is in your tree. So period, they're all in your tree. So you're not losing a single point by the doctor, and you want the doctor to make money in order to grow your business, and for that doctor to get excited about sharing with more people and being excited about getting paid. Because that's honestly the most that's the most fun part, is to go back to your doc and say, do you realize you have 700 and some odd dollars in your back office? And what? Like, yeah. So let's sit down. Let me show you how to like open that channel to go into your bank account. And I just looked at one of my Kairos just today, and I was like, okay, we've got like 800 or $900 sitting ready to be transferred. And so I'm like, I love texting and saying, guess what? You're getting paid today. So yeah, they all go under.
Or voice notes so they can hear it in your voice,
Or
right?
voice note. Sure. There you go. Perfect. Nice. So, so in terms of like how to set it up, it's going to be up to you and your own comfort level and how much availability that you want to make for that physician. So they might be semi-involved and share, maybe sell, retail, the first ones, and then have somebody at the front who helps them to place an order, either preferred customer or getting them on the phone with you. In general, my goal is you either give them this link to order preferred customer and just get on an auto ship for themselves. And I create that for them with a QR code. I sign them up. I go to their LifeWave account, and then I pull up X39 and I grab that URL. And we've done this on another lab before. Grab that URL and create a QR code for them. And I say, put this on stickers, or I'll print it myself and bring them a rack of stickers that have QR codes for people to go directly to their website to order. And that can be something that you just print on a piece of paper and you give to the front office and make it look nice and say, to order LifeWave auto ship, here's your QR code. And it takes them right to their store, right to where they go. Super important to do that because they're going to have that customer base. For those who want that need ordering help, or what do I say on mine? Hold on. I say order questions and guidance. Please call Alex. That would be you as the sponsor. And that means basically, I'm not really sure what I need to order, how much I need. It could be that I tell the physician, which I do, if they want discounts or if they want to get bulk savings or family savings, call this lady right here for order questions and discount or whatever, call them. And that's when I will triage and say, tell me what you know, what questions do you have, and figure out how to set them up best. I place them underneath my physician, but I'm facilitating, and I make sure that they have me as their lifeline to get any more education, because that physician has already told me, I'm not going to build the business, but I'm going to sell the heck out of this product and I'd love to make some money. So that's how you can work it. Now, in some cases, if it's a really high volume and they're really pumping it out, you might make a different arrangement and say, look, if this starts to become a drag and it's pulling all of my energy away, then let's do like every two. You get the first two, I get the third, and then you get the next two, and then I get the third. And then you could directly, come into an agreement, and you can just make this up and figure it out between you and that person, what feels equitable, to be able to build both sides. And you could put that other person still in their pay leg, but you're directly sponsoring them yourself. You could do that because they're directly giving them to you and you're supporting them. That would be the only case that I would put somebody in an internal leg. That's not my outside left or my outside right. So if I'm building with somebody and I'm like their coordinator, the last thing that you can do is to train somebody within the office, somebody who's really solid in the office. It's not going to go away, and help them become that coordinator. But then you need to train them up so they can answer the questions and know how to place the customer. And this is rare that you're going to find that person, but once in a while you'll find that like, oh, we've been working together for 22 years and awesome, let's do it. But the ones that are coming and going and rehiring all the time, it's not worth it. It's a headache. So you want to just manage that yourself. So those are my tips on that.
Yeah, and I hope everyone kind of understands that point that Alex was making there, just about two for them, one for you. Because if it does become a tendency thing where they're leaning on you to actually build their business,
Mhm.
it's gotta be, even though they're still in your line, there needs to be a little bit of give and take. And I've seen it with other people doing it, where they'll be the promoters. They're promoting it, but they want you to do all the back end stuff. And they'll take two people, and then Alex will take one person, kind of. So the idea that you're putting them directly under your tree versus just keep on under their tree. So
Right.
I think that's an
All
important
still
thing.
under, it's still all under their tree. It's just a direct sponsorship that's different.
Exactly.
So they'll gain from the points, just like you gain from the points. But direct sponsorship means they're level 1 to you and not level 2.
Yeah.
Right. So, and that can be really helpful. And then you could also earn the PIB from that. And yeah, it can make a difference. So, and it just,
And
yeah.
sorry,
No, I'm good.
yeah, I was just gonna say, and that's where it can actually be advantageous for you to not get the person at the front desk to do it. Because at the end of the day, if there's a partnership there, you're going to do a better job at it, because it's you're wanting to build this business than the person at the front desk. And you're going to be able to go back to the doctor and say, like Alex was saying, hey, do you know there's $1,500 in your back office just waiting for you, right? And if he sees that, he knows that you're supporting him, he's just gonna push the product even more. Because I'm sure those people are going to come back to his office and say, hey, this stuff's working, it's amazing, right? So there's an advantage for you to take that on yourself and really run with it. Because the other piece too is that becomes a testimonial for you. If you talk to another doctor, you can actually give them this doctor's name and just say, hey, I've been working with this so and so doctor. If you have any questions, just reach out to him. And we built a nice little business for him. So there's a lot of advantages for you to kind of take that on. So, but Sally kind of have a question that tied into that nicely. I'd love to see in the future sessions with how to set up a chiro office. I think that's very similar as to a doctor's office.
Yeah,
But
we actually covered this on another call. And I will tie back into this when I have my little slight monologue after we answer questions here, and I will answer that question within it, because we did talk about setting it up, and kind of even we even did a class on or a call where I talked about how I walk into a physician or a basically like a med spa or a hair salon, or like how do I present to a basically a storefront, somebody who has a storefront where they can retail the product, and also potentially do back end more building the business itself. Because like I was working with Jill today, and I think she's on the call here today. Hi, Jill. And she has a chiro that uses the patches, loves the patches, is getting them from some other chiro's son, and which is great. And she's like, well, why aren't you sharing it? And he's got some issue with network marketing. We haven't figured out what the issue is, but he's like, no, not going there, I'm just like, ah. And she's kind of like, well, if you're using it and you're enjoying it and you care about people, like, well, why aren't you sharing it, which is like our obvious logic, because we're passionate about it. And he had some sort of an experience. We haven't figured out what that experience is yet. That didn't work out for him very well. And there's going to be times when it's just the opposite situation, where we have an opportunity to be able to go in and talk with him. We just don't know, but they may be just resistant to doing the business part, but they're fine with retail. And she did tackle that. She straight up said, like, hey, you don't need to do the business. You don't have to do the build the team part of it. You can just retail it, and I'll handle the rest if there is a rest. And but he definitely had some sort of an experience, because he didn't want any of his patients to even be exposed to think that he might be involved in one of those things. So it's sad, when we have to kind of triage those types of experiences, but it does happen sometimes, and other times they're just open to it. So we have to be able to approach it from the sense of, you can just retail this product and you can also build this business. You can do both or either, and it's fine. Like, it's perfectly fine. And it's very flexible the way that we can do this. And in terms of how to approach and how to set up that office, we did do a call on that before. So hopefully these are going to be cataloged really soon for you, so that you can kind of find out, like, and find exactly where these have been covered in detail before. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, even touch on that too, Alex. Melissa and I were having actually a good chat about this the other day. Just this idea where people kind of tense up, and really a lot of people haven't even ever had an experience with multi-level marketing. It's just they've just hear the word, and for some reason they don't even actually quite understand it. And we've started using the term brand partner way more.
Oh,
And the reason why
totally.
the reason why we've been using that is it's actually synonymous with with social media now.
Mhm.
People are brand partners. What do they do? There's influencers that get big followings, and they don't even need a big following anymore. And a company will come to you and say, "Hey, can you promote our product?" And people will like, "Yeah, okay." They get their $2,500 or 5 grand, and they go and promote a product. Well, they don't even necessarily believe in that part. So the idea of becoming a brand partner with a company that you believe in because you actually like the product, people, you can walk people through this, and logically sometimes it clicks with people. Hey, really, I love this product, and all I'm doing is getting paid because I'm sharing it. And if people get that concept and then actually even understand the fact is that you can't just sit back and just let other people do the business. It doesn't work within LifeWave, right? So there's some unwrangling, and obviously if you think it's worth it, Jill, you can explain it to them. But if it's not, just this is a perfect opportunity to say, hey, listen, you send me the customers, or just do it wholesale, or whatever that is. But I
Yeah.
think when people push back on MLMs, it's just there's an opportunity to kind of educate people and reusing the word of like brand partner.
Yeah.
Because companies have salespeople. They pay those salespeople. What is the difference between
Well,
you
we
actually?
get that. We get that. They
Yeah,
get the like, rah, as soon as they, if they have a, preconceived notion of it. But just like Aaron is saying, like you just need to be in dialogue with that person. And do they have an objection? Do they have an aversion? What does that mean for them? And like I said to Jill today, I said a way to answer when they start to kind of put the hand up, you just say, oh, sounds like you might have a story around that, and let them reveal it. Don't make an assumption. Oh, yikes, they must not like it, or just, you know, but the reality is that we all kind of do. And so there's a part of us that gets triggered within that hasn't been processed fully. And just like this thing that I think Sally had said here, she said she'd made 9 exposures with her Cairo, then he ghosted her, and then she had the confidence to go ahead and go back in. But now she's a little nervous again. So both of you have triggers, both of you have stuff that you're trying to work through, which is perfectly fine. And so you just have to be in that flow and in that dialogue and just trusting, look, the product is the product. It speaks for itself, and the rest of it can be sorted out. And it just needs to be kind of, just approached with, I wouldn't say kid gloves, but just with a healthy optimism that, hey, we have some preconceived trapped emotions around this. We're both getting a little bit triggered because of past experiences or judgments or fear of judgment, which is really what it is. I don't want to be judged by my clients. I don't want people to think I'm that guy or that girl or what have you. It's really that. We all are just really worried to preserve our own sense of self. So when you recognize that and okay, well, my sense of self, what's more important than my fear is my desire to help other people. And I'm willing to get out of my way to reach out, just like you did. You went ahead and you gave it another shot. You've got the foot in. Stay with that. It's okay to have a little more fear kick in, but stay with that. You're doing the right thing. He leaned in a little bit too, so he's matching your energy. It's a perfect dance. It's just a dance, and it's fine. And I think that sometimes because these people are in influence and we know that their patients will listen to them, we think they're going to be some kind of gold mine. But if you have any of that essence in you, when you are speaking with them, like, oh my God, so many people, you could change my whole business. Bam, that's where you got to change that energy. Right. So you have to instead say, oh, they care so much about their people. This might really resonate for them to be able to build even a better practice for them and for their patients. And I would be so honored to be able to assist them in doing that. What an honor, what a gift to be able to bring that to them. If you can just bring yourself to that space before you go to them, that's going to change the whole interaction from the beginning, because the energy is everything in how you speak and how you approach somebody and work with them. So hats off to you, Sally, for like continuing. It was Sally, right? I don't have my glasses on. To continue to move forward with that and just keep that in check with you. Like, yes, they can influence tons of people, but not from the wrong space. So you're doing it right. Keep going with that.
Yeah, and good job on 9 exposures. Obviously you're
Right?
keeping track of that.
Totally.
So that's great. And to have the confidence to go back to them, and
Right.
that's great. Good for you. Really good for you. So Jill, I love that. Sounds like you might have a story about that. Did you want to ask Jill?
Yeah, she raised her hand. Let's let her on.
Perfect. Let's unmute Jill here. Just 1 second.
What a beautiful picture, Jill. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, you're so sweet, Alex. I'm watching you guys.
And
You
she's
guys are
hiding. She's hiding.
Okay, I'll come on. I'm working out and stretching while I'm here. I'll come
Okay.
on. I'll come
Perfect.
on, but
Come
I'm
on.
warning you. I'm warning you all. Am I on?
We love it.
Tell me when I'm on. Oh, here, start video. It says you cannot start video because host
Okay.
stopped it.
Well, go ahead and start asking, and Lonnie will let you in.
Yeah.
I'm like, see, you're blocking me for a reason. That's a good thing. No, I was just going to cover, Alex. You fired me up with that. That's a great comeback, right? I should have said, sounds like you have a story about that. But imagine sitting across from my new chiropractor. I gave him a fist bump. He's like, oh, what company? And I said, LifeWave. And he said, oh, I've got an X39 and an X49 on now. And I'm like, and he's like, I love them. I'm like, I just got to ask, like, how come you don't have them on your front desk, like helping other people? That's your goal to be a chiropractor. I said to myself, that seems so selfish, but he said, oh, I don't like the business model. I said, dude, put them on your counter and sell them retail. You're keeping people from having something amazing. And he was like, nope, I don't even want them to read about the business model. And I went, mind blowing.
Yeah. Yeah, when someone has that deep, like obviously he's got a very deep something's there, right?
A wound. He's got a wound.
Yeah. Hey, Jill.
Okay, I'm going off the video now. Bye, everyone.
Yeah, obviously there's something deep there, and it would be interesting for you to be able to even have a conversation with him if he was ever able to go there, to just to ask him like, hey, what is it about the business model of people sharing something that they're passionate about versus a sales guy coming here and selling you a chiropractic bed, that might not really like his job. And it would just be interesting to see where he goes with that, to understand what it is about that model that he doesn't like. And even prefacing it, hey, I don't want you to do this business, but just for my own clarity, I'm kind of curious to know what it is about, brand partnership that you don't like. And I think it would be great for you just to have that conversation, that open kind of fierce conversation, if he's willing to go there next time you see him.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah. Thank you, Jill, for that question, by the way.
Thank you.
Oh, she's going to see him next Monday. So
perfect.
That's all.
Perfect.
That's awesome. Yeah. So if anybody else has any questions, we've got about roughly about just over 10 minutes left. And if you guys have.
We have some other stuff we want to cover too. So just to make sure we save a little time for that. Yeah. Just a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Cindy patches her dog. What's that say?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I missed Cindy's question there. She was just asking about, I patch my dog with who has separation anxiety with Eon. He does fantastic. Our guidelines seem to forbid sharing this animal fact. Any comments or suggestions?
Well, it's just testimony, I think it's just testimony in general. So I'm not really sure if that answers the question, but they're all perfectly safe. The phototherapy is safe. So, if you're getting a great result with it and you can share it directly yourself, I think it's fine, but maybe it's posting it where somebody else could send it along and it's not first person. Maybe that's the issue. I don't know the exact guidelines when it comes to first person testimony. And obviously your dog isn't going to say what's going on. So maybe that's the issue. So I don't know if there's any more clarification around that or if that even helped at all. So
I think if you're sharing it, Cindy, you can do it
directly.
Like for us, like Melissa shares it all the time, because when we were back in Canada, we put them on the family dog all the time, and everyone takes their patches off at the end of the day and either puts them in Andy's bed or puts them on him, and he's all patched up. And it was amazing to actually see in a short period. He's an older dog, how much he was just able to actually move a lot better and walk, and it was really surprising. Really surprising.
There's no placebo. And what's so amazing about that placebo too, just to speak to it, sometimes people don't believe in the patch, or they believe it's only going to do this one thing or the other thing, and that actually holds back their own healing when they're not open to any possibility that might happen. And so animals don't lie, right? They don't have that sort of decision that they've made. They don't have any expectation. It's just what is. So when you actually record the animals, and you'll see that with the AccuLife with horses, there's tons of videos, by the way, you guys. If you have a horse niche, or if you're near horses, or horse people, please go ahead and look into AccuLife and watch the videos and expose them. That could be a whole business arm for you. That may not be your specialty, but you could bring in somebody who's really passionate about horses, and man, that's a whole other arm. But I mean, that's not what we're doing with Quantum Team, but it does not mean that you couldn't have a whole arm of your business that is all about that, So animals are amazing. Yeah, it's a big market. People will feed their children chocolate, but they won't feed their dog chocolate.
Yeah.
What does that tell you?
Yeah. Or eat horrible food themselves, but give their dogs gourmet food.
Chocolate's not good for my dog. I won't give my dog chocolate. I'd never give my dog chocolate. But you're going to give your kid tricks, and like Fruity Pebbles. Like, how does that work? I don't understand. Anyway, carry on. What else we got?
I think Jill had to jump off.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what we have for questions right now.
Perfect.
So I don't know if,
So I have a little bit of a monologue, which would normally we do in the beginning, that I just kind of want to share with you guys, and then an announcement that's important that you will hear about, I think, in general anyways. But maybe I'll just make the announcement first. So I think I'll do that. Jill is still there. Okay, cool. Okay, so the announcement may be a bummer to those of you who are showing up here right now, but as we can see, there's a handful of participants that are here right now, and it's not for lack of enthusiasm and value and all the great feedback that we're getting from these calls. And sometimes we have bigger calls, we get lots of questions and tons of people watching the replays. But we've decided from Onyx and from the team in general that we're going to put a pause on the calls that I've been facilitating for the team for the last 5 months. And that would include both this call, the call that normally comes after this call, and then Wednesday calls. We are going to do a final launch lab on Wednesday. So we will be doing that for sure to make sure that those people are served and that we have this same announcement. But we're just going to put a pause on those and decide what we're going to do to move forward, just because the team is growing. All the teams are growing. All the numbers are up. People seem to be really stepping into their leadership, and we've covered all the foundational basics of the topics. So what you're going to find moving forward is we're going to be posting the replays of these inside of build331.com. And I'm hopeful, we're discussing right now, that they will be cataloged so that you can find those main questions and you can bring your new people in and be able to literally have them binge watch through all the trainings that we've done and get all the nuts and bolts. But as we run out of the questions and the Q&As and we start recycling the same questions over, we realize we've fulfilled the mission of these calls at this point. And but we're also toying around with the idea of having 1 or 2 maybe Q&A live calls for the overall team, where maybe myself and Onyx and maybe a few leaders all come together and do a main call or 2 per month. We just have to figure out how we're going to facilitate where the questions come in or how we're going to promote that. One of the things I want to really encourage is that you plug your new people in, every single brand new person, into the Facebook group. People are not joining the Facebook group as much, and so they're not finding out about these calls. They're not finding out how to get plugged in and how to get kind of just tuned in. And so they can fall out. They can fall by the wayside without that natural, normal, everyday touch with the Facebook group. And that is a team group. It's not just for education on the product. It is a team building group. So get your people on that Quantum Team group. And the YouTube, of course, is going to have all the playbacks. It always will, and we'll always put them there. So they're still going to be housed there, but we are going to be adding to the Build 331 site. So you're going to find more of it, everything there. Sally, I hear you. Sad to hear too. I agree. But, and this is so fun. And I really love to show up, especially with just the back and forth Q&A and just letting that kind of come through. It's really a joy to do that. And, you know, we are starting to cover same product, same things. And so we had to revisit it and just decide to, you know, see how this goes for a little while. So the calls that are coming, that normally comes up after this, and also on Wednesday, where I was doing the opportunity call, that's been the same call over and over in every different flavor and way, and fewer people were showing up live, and we have a ton of replays on that. So those are going to be replayed for a while, so you still have that live opportunity, but we want you to still do the 3-3-1. The one part of the 3-3-1 is you building people into an event, another exposure. And if you're building them into something like a replay or what have you, that is still a one, that is still another exposure for them or an event for them to be on. A three-way call is an event to be live with your sponsor or somebody else in your team to validate and answer questions. That is an event. To hold an event in your house is to step into leadership. This is a leadership call. So leading your own team by creating your own events, downloading the actual presentation that you've seen me do 50,000 times, or if you haven't, go watch it 50,000 times until you can do it yourself, because it's not a hard thing to do. You just go through it, fumble your way through it. People will see how doable it is to just fumble your way through it. It's like, I'm just going to walk you through this PowerPoint because it makes sense. It worked for me. Just be authentic about it. You can create those for your people. So today I had a gal who was that? I can't remember who it was. Anyways, she was, oh, you know, Jill, it was Jill's person. Jill's person was talking about, you know, she had some people, and I said, if you have a list of running people, she wanted to go to Diamond. She wants to upgrade straight to Diamond. And I said, think about anybody that you think might go to Diamond with you or that might want to do the business. Let's get a running list and let's do an event. And Jill's like, let's, you know, if we can host some of the things you normally do for the whole group, but we can do it just for that group. You can do that for your people too with a Zoom account. Just the fact that you're there to support your person makes you a leader. And again, you don't have to be perfect at it. It's just by position, you're going to be taken more seriously because you're there working together. It shows support. It shows your willingness to be a little bit uncomfortable. You get better over time. Trust me, I had to do this a first time too. The first time I got in front of a room, I was green, sick, thought I was going to totally toss my cookies. And I was like, I got 2 hours of training I need to do. They're not here for me. They're here for what I know. They're here for what I have to teach. And just remind yourself of that. This is not a judgment or anything for you. I know it's terrifying sometimes. They're here for the education. They just want to know what it is about this product that my friend is so excited about. So be that leader for those people. So I want to have you consider that, creating those events, getting excited, learning the tools. Just continue to go to the site and learn where things are so you can plug your person in to what they need next. So important. Everybody's going to be at a different stage and a different pacing for how they learn and how they do things. So you want to be in total dialogue with them and find out where they are and then lead them to their next piece. And you can lead them to that same piece a couple of times. If they don't take that step, then you continue to move forward. Don't keep trying to get them to make that step if they're not willing to do it. After a couple of times, it's like, okay, I'm going to be over here. Once you make that step, give me a call. We'll play again. You know, we'll volley. So I'll pause with that. There's more to say, but what do you have to say about all this, Mr. Aaron?
I think that's a really important thing that you were talking about with the Facebook, because it is a source of information there. But I think one thing that we were looking at for Melissa's team, not a lot of people are super active on Facebook. So we came up with the ideas, okay, hey, we'll create a WhatsApp group, you know, and that information that's coming from Facebook, we can share it with them. Or she has a great video, boom, it goes right to them. They get inspired. A lot of people are reaching out, asking questions after she sends that video. And then the other thing is sending out a monthly newsletter. It doesn't have to be overcomplicated. You know, maybe it's a great video of Alex that she did with somebody that you thought had a lot of great information. Send them to your team, send it once a month, right? And it's just keeping people engaged. And that's a way that you can be, that extra level of leadership. Don't just depend on the Facebook group to bring that leadership.
Mhm.
If you really want to grow your business, you got to find some other avenues to do that. And to me, it's through the WhatsApp group, it's through creating a monthly newsletter. And then, like you just said, is reach out to your team members and saying, hey, do you have 3 or 4 people that might be interested in this? Let's do an event together. And maybe they only get 2 people, maybe they only get 1 person, but it's a start, right? And you're helping them see the possibilities. And I think, just depending on that Facebook group it's a little bit limiting. It's great, but you got to think bigger now, because where you guys are this is about leadership, and it's about showing your team members, hey, all these different possibilities, right? And that this is the idea, is if you ever need help, thinking or brainstorming, reach out to Alex, reach out to Melissa, reach out to me, and we can come up with some ideas to help you guys, bring your team to that next level. So
Yeah, it's creating that culture, in your own languaging. And I think I think we'll close with this too, because I think the part of the reason why I was invited in and to kind of take over, as there was a kind of a shifting of the leadership of the last team that was kind of at the helm of the training for the overall team. I had an entirely different vibe and frequently, like, just totally different feeling about the way that I teach and where I come from. But you'll notice in Aaron and in Melissa and in my team and in Jill and the people that are attracted to this team, that the whole team has a different essence to it. And we all have that within us. And we want to create that as we are building a business that can be like a legacy business for the rest of our lives. We're inviting people into our world as family. And so we want them to be in resonance with who we actually are. And that's going to be unique to you. And so this has served a beautiful platform to be able to share this and to build and to kind of give you another flavor of what's available, in I wouldn't say contrast, but just as another way, according to those of you who have seen, the shift in the energies and the way that things have been, even within Onyx's team. I think it's all beautiful. There's no right or wrong. You just get to say, okay, like, now I can find my own flavor and bring that and create my own culture and what's going to work for my people and what they need and how they communicate and what they're asking for. And that's what this is all about. And so again, build331.com is going to be that framework and a place. And if you feel like you're ready to step up and you want to offer up something, or you want to do a special event for the whole team, please reach out. Let's do it. Let's do it. And we can always offer it for the greater team and say, we're doing a special event for the whole team. This person's hosting and this is what we're going to do it about. And it could be a really fun way to rise you as a leader for your own team to see, which is really important as well. When your team sees you step up like that, they're going to follow you and they're going to plug more people into you and they're going to feel safer in your space, in the container that you create for your culture. And I love that. I just think it's the way that we build. It's the way we step into our own power. And I think that's what it's all about. And we're running out of time. So yeah.
Thank everybody for being here tonight. I really appreciate it. I know a lot of you have kind of been on these calls with us consistently, and so we're all very grateful for being here, supporting, asking the questions that you do. And I know I really enjoyed it, and I know you did, Alex, and I know Melissa did. So join them. I'm not going to be able to make Wednesday, but make sure that you're there on Wednesday with Melissa and Alex on that last call. But again, thank you very much, guys. It's been an honor and a pleasure, and I'm sure it's the last time we're all gonna be here together. So
you guys are so sweet with your little emojis and stuff. Thank you so much. We're gonna miss you too, but don't worry, we're still here. It's just we're just taking a break and we'll see what happens.
Ramp up, another angle, taking it to another level.
Yep, new levels. Love you guys so much. Plug into the recordings.
Okay, ciao.
Bye.